Welcome to the Word for 2022. Today we're in 2 Kings chapter 8. As this chapter begins, King Abinadab, who is the king of Aram, he's sick, and so he sends his servant Ahaziel to Elisha to find out, will I recover? Elisha tells the servant, tell your king that he will certainly recover, but he will also indeed die. Then Elisha, he stares at Ahaziel with a fixed gaze until Ahaziel feels ashamed. Then the prophet starts to weep. Ahaziel asks, why are you weeping? And Elisha says, I know the harm that you will do to the Israelites. You will burn their cities. You will kill their young men with the sword, and you'll dash children to the ground. You will even kill pregnant women, but you will become king. Ahaziel then says, how can your servant, a mere dog, accomplish such a feat? He says this in verse 13. And what he's really saying is, what? Am I a dog that I would do those wicked things? Ahaziel, he does not believe or even imagine that he could do any of the things that Elisha said that he was going to do. After Ahaziel leaves, he goes back to the king and he reports that you will recover. But the very next day, Ahaziel, he takes a heavy cloth, dips it in water, and then puts it over the king's face to suffocate him. Then he becomes king. Initially, he didn't believe that he could do any of the things that Elisha said that he would do. There's no way I could do any of those things. I'm not capable of such a thing. But the truth is that Ahaziel, he was capable of doing those things, but not only him, but everyone is capable of doing things that we thought we might never do. Now, why is that true? There are two schools of thought. One is that man is basically good, but it is his environment that causes him to do things that are wrong. Therefore, man's greatest need, if we can change his environment, then we can change his actions. That is the world's view of man. It's the popular view of today. But the biblical view is that man is self-centered and he is sinful, and his greatest need is to have his heart changed, and then his actions will change. We see this in Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 9. Jeremiah says, the heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? David understood this. That's why he prayed in Psalm 51:10, create in me a pure heart, O God. We see this reality within toddlers because toddlers, they are self-centered to the core. They have to be taught in order to wait. They have to be taught to share and later even be taught to tell the truth. Apart from God's grace and His control of our life, we are capable of anything. Therefore, we need to be redeemed. And once that takes place, we need to be trained to submit our hearts to God. And we need to be trained to guard our hearts. Ahaziel, he is the perfect example of someone that follows his own evil desires and the danger of having an unguarded heart. Solomon wrote about this in Proverbs chapter 4, verse 23 through 27. This is what Solomon said, above all else, guard your heart, for it is the wellspring of life. And then he goes on to say, this is how you guard your heart. Put away perversity from your mouth. Keep corrupt talk from your lips. Let your eyes look straight ahead. Fix your gaze directly before you. Make level paths for your feet, and take only ways that are firm. Do not swerve to the right or to the left. Keep your foot from evil. Guard your heart. David, again understanding this reality, he then prayed in Psalm 139, verses 23 and 24. Search me, O God, and know my heart. Test me and know my anxious thoughts. See if there is any wicked way within me, and lead me in the way everlasting. Why? So that we would have a guarded heart. Thank you for joining the Word for 2022.